have some good news, Zaya. Sebastian will be so excited. Congratulations, you're pregnant. The doctor's words ring in my mind as I stare down at the test reports once again, as I leave the hospital. Sorry, I say as I avoid bumping into someone, my heart skipping a beat as I place a hand on my stomach protectively. Hurrying towards my awaiting CRTMY driver, Ethan, is waiting beside the sleek black car and he opens the door for me, bowing his head. Thank you, I say as I get in gracefully. Where to, ma'am? He asks once he gets in the car. Home, I say, unable to suppress my smile, excitement bubbling through me. This is actually happening. I've been trying for a baby for 3 years and finally, I am pregnant and I want to shout it from the rooftop. Tell everyone that yes, I'm pregnant with the heir to the pack. But I contain my excitement. I need to tell Sebastian the good news first. Sebastian is the alpha of the Dark Hollow Falls pack. It is one of the largest packs on the eastern side of the state. However, with the large territory also comes the dangerous borders that roam with rogues, ready to tear apart anyone who gets in their way. Werewolves spend their entire lives searching and hoping to find their destined mates. As for me, I had a crush on Bastian from the moment I had seen him when I was 11 years old. That crush never went away, and when he turned out to be my fated mate, it had been a dream come true, and we had married that he desperately wanted an heir, and which alpha doesn't? I had just turned 18 when I found him, but he was 31 at the time. Many other alphas have sons who are already being trained to become the next alphas at his age. Make haste, Ethan, I have a lot to do today, I say to the driver as I sit back against the plush leather seat. Reaching our large gated mansion, I step inside and head straight to the kitchen, my stilettos echoing on the wooden floors. I will cook his favorite pudding and place the reports underneath the plate. You may take the evening off, get some rest, I say to the maid Emma. I'll cook for us tonight. Oh, thank you, Luna, she says, placing down the dish towel she had been holding. I am certain Alpha will absolutely be so happy if you make him his favorite dessert. Not to mention he doesn't like sweet things, but your pudding is something he can't resist. I can't help but smile at her words. Yes, Sebastian doesn't enjoy sweet things aside from me and the cream pie that he loves. My cheeks heat as I remember the first time he had told me that it's now his second favorite dessert, and in hopes of making his favorite dessert, I had asked him what his favorite was, only for him to smirk and reply, I can't help but smile from ear to ear, the elated feeling creating a pleasant buzz around me as I get to work wanting everything to be perfect for his return. Hours pass, and when everything is almost ready, I change into something pretty and set up the dining table with candles and the food. Almost 9 p.m. He will be home soon with the troubles that have surrounded our borders, as well as having to run the business. Sebastian often works until late into the night, but he would try to come home by 9:30 p.m. and continue working from home if necessary. I sit down on the chair, watching the clock tick away, the sound loud in the room's silence. Once again, I look down at my stomach, smiling softly as I await the return of my mate. Time passes slowly and soon 11 o'clock comes and goes, but I'm not deterred. Maybe I will reheat the food again. I have just placed the reheated meals on the table when my head jerks up at the sound of footsteps, making my heart thud at the sudden sound. I look toward the door excitedly. Finally, he is home. The front door shuts and a familiar faint scent of my mate hits my nose. I cast a swift glance at the clock on the wall. To my surprise, it's past midnight. I rush to the hall, the excitement of finally being able to tell him the good news filling me. There he is in the dimly lit hall. He still looks as handsome as ever. 3.5 years on, he still makes my heart skip a beat whenever I see him. He loosens his black tie, as he places his briefcase down, holding a few files in his hands as well. His bright blue eyes look tired as they meet mine and I smile. Sebastian. I rush over to him, wrapping my arms around his neck. He catches me with one arm, but there's no enthusiasm. He must have had a really hard day. I don't mind. I know how stressful things are at work lately. Placing me back on the floor, he raises a brow as he looks down at me. Why are you awake at this time? He asks me in his deep, rugged voice. I was waiting for you. I wanted to have dinner together. There's something I wanted to tell you, I explain as I help him out of his jacket, brushing a piece of lint from his white shirt that is no longer as crisp as it was this morning. I've already eaten, he replies, surprising me as heads towards the living room. I have something to tell you. Okay, you go first, I say as he drops onto the sofa, stretching his long legs. and resting his arm on the back of the sofa. I sit down beside him, knowing he would share something regarding the work meeting. After all, I am knowledgeable on these matters and he'd often get my opinion on his ideas. However, there's something off. There's a coldness in his eyes as he looks into mine. Sebastian looks down at the file in his hands before he tosses it on the table. The loud snap as it hits the table makes me jump. Read it. I take it uneasily and flip open the blank file, but the red words in bold print at the top of the first page make my blood run cold. Divorce agreement, I gasp as I quickly scan the document. That feeling becomes worse. This is a divorce agreement with our name on it. My entire body trembles as I look up at him, hurt and confused. I manage to blurt out as I look at the man I love from the bottom of my heart. What went wrong? Annalise is back and she's rejoined the pack. I look up sharply. It's suddenly hard to breathe. But I am your mate, I whisper. How could he still care for Annalise? She was his past. We've been married for 3 years. Our marriage was a mistake from the very beginning. Back then, my father demanded that I marry my mate, but now I don't want to be bound by the goddess arrangement. I don't see the point of fated mates. My heart clenches. I look at his face, trying to understand what he's thinking, but there's nothing that reveals his feelings and he has his walls up, blocking the mate bond. But your father, my mom is not my father's mate, but she still gave birth to me. She gave him a powerful alpha son, and even after he found his mate, he stayed by her side, rejecting his mate. I will never understand his reason for wanting me with my destined mate, when he himself is proof that you don't need your mate. Those words are worse than being stabbed 1,000 times, and I can feel my eyes prickle with tears, the agony my wolf is feeling consuming me. Does he really think that is the truth? Annalise is my half-sister, and although she and Sebastian had dated, I know her truth, the real her that she hides behind her pretty face and doe eyes. Annalise only approached you because you were an alpha. Sebastian, she doesn't love you the way I do. She wants to be Luna. He kicks the solid oak coffee table, making me jump as it's thrown over with a loud crash, hitting the wooden floor with a deafening bang that makes the ornaments in the glass cabinet shake. And what about you? You just want to be Luna, don't you? You knew that Annalise and I were in a relationship, yet you selfishly accepted the marriage anyway and betrayed your own sister by taking her man. You lied to me. She's told me everything. No, that's not true. Let me explain. Don't antagonize me, Zaya. You got what you wanted, you became my wife and Luna, but that wasn't enough for you. You forced Annalise from coming anywhere near this pack because you knew once she returned, I would learn everything. Yes, I did want Annalise to leave, but I never made her leave. She left of her own accord once she learned Sebastian had found his mate. But now, it's almost as if she has been planning her return all this time. She really enough to come between what we have? Sadly, I look into his eyes, realizing he never trusted me. He's now judging and calculating everything I gave him with suspicion, as if I had played him to gain the position of Luna. Doesn't he realize I fell for him before I even knew he was an alpha? Has he always been wary of me? That one person can come between us and ruin it all? Did he even for a moment truly love me wholeheartedly? I can't understand it. Tell me, Bastian. If you didn't want me, then why did you make love to me? Why did you touch me like I was the only woman who mattered to you? Taking a deep breath, I ask him the decisive question. Sebastian, tell me, if it wasn't your father's request, then I would have rejected you, and even now I will for Annalise. My lips quiver, remembering how my father hadn't been happy with me marrying him. He never liked Sebastian's family, yet I had given it all up for him. My family, my inheritance and my position, but it was clearly not enough for him. If he's able to cast me aside so easily, then what is my use? He exhales as if I'm an irritating child and takes out a lighter and cigarette. Sign the papers soon. I don't want this to drag out, he says. I stare down at the file as a single tear splashes onto the papers. What did you want to tell me? He asks. It's no longer important, forget about it, I say, thinking he will never see the papers that currently sit on the dining room table. If you have any concerns regarding the alimony, let me know. Your expenses will be covered, and you are welcome to stay in the pack. That hurts. No, there's no need. Everything is fine as it is. I will sign and have these returned to you immediately. I reply as I stand up. trying to hold myself together when my entire world has come crashing down around me. He pauses for a second and simply nods, uncaring about my heartbreak and agony that I know he can feel through the bond. Could he really cast me his own mate, aside for another woman? The answer is in front of me, and although it is painful, the truth is yes, he could. You may remain here for tonight. It's late anyway. Annalise won't move in until everything is settled. I don't want her to feel uncomfortable. I stare up into his handsome face, trying to recognize the man I fell for. I smile bitterly and nod at him. Don't worry, I'll be gone. Say hi to Annalise for me. Zia. The following day dawns as gloomy and dark as the weight on my chest. Sebastian left last night. I had heard the front door slam shut, and I wonder if he went to Annalise. I stare at the divorce file in front of me. $5 million as alimony. It is not a small amount. He really wants me to leave so desperately, doesn't he? I toss the file onto the bed. I don't need his money. Nothing can make up for the pain of being rejected by my mate. The man I had given everything to. I push the rumpled bedding back and get out of bed and stare at my reflection above my vanity. Staring back at me is the creamy skin with freckles and long ginger locks which, despite being hard to maintain, I never considered cutting because Sebastian liked it. My pouty lips aren't anywhere near as big as Annalise's, but the most prominent feature of mine is probably my amethyst-colored eyes. There was a time when every man wanted me. At college and university, all the young men wanted to date Zia Toussaint. My reputation in my studies, and as the daughter of Alpha Hugh Toussaint only added to that. I came from a reputable pack, one whose size is almost as big as this one. However, their reputation is vastly different. Where my father's pack is known for its social status and influence, the Dark Hollow Falls pack was known for their power and their control. No one wants to cross them. I stare down at the papers in my hand. Placing a hand on my stomach, I calm myself. Stress is not good for the baby. I will not sit here and weep. I will show him I am fine. Determined, I ball my fist still holding those hateful papers before I get ready for the day and make my way downstairs. Did the alpha not return last night? Emma asks, stepping out of the dining room with the uneaten dishes from last night. He came late, and I had fallen asleep, I reply, forcing a smile as I lead the way to the kitchen. You look pale, Luna. Are you all right? She asks as I make myself some cereal, even though I have no appetite. Before I can reply, my phone rings. It's Valerie Scott, my doctor and close friend. Hello. I answer, stepping away from the table and leaving the kitchen for privacy. Zia, I'm sorry to bother you so early. I was taking a second look at your reports, and I want you to come back for a few additional checks. Valerie, is everything all right? I ask nervously. Don't worry, Zia, just come see me as soon as possible. I hang up, fear settling into the pit of my stomach, and I quickly hurry to leave, asking Ethan to have the car ready. Once in the car, I tell him to drive me to the hospital. He looks at me curiously as he obeys. Is everything okay, Luna? Oh yes, just going to go meet Valerie for brunch. It isn't a complete lie. Valerie is the head gynecologist at the hospital, and I'm glad she is the one who found out about my baby. We reached the hospital shortly after, and I thank Ethan, telling him to wait for me. The windy weather batters at me, and I'm happy to step into the warmth of the hospital entrance. Do you have another appointment, Luna? The lady at the front desk asks. Gossip will spread like wildfire, knowing I came to the hospital 2 days in a row. Oh no, I dash. She's here to see me. We both turn, relieved to see Valerie standing there in her white coat with arms crossed. Ah, I see, the prying woman behind the counter says before she smiles and returns to her paperwork. The smell of disinfectant is strong in the halls. I think it's best to keep your pregnancy a secret for now, Valerie whispers to me as she strides down the hallway and opens her office door. I think so too. I agree, although my reasons are rather different. Once inside the comfort of her office, she tells me to lie down on the bed so she can do a quick scan of my stomach. Since we are in her office, there is no screen opposite for me to be able to see the scan myself. However, with the frown on her face deepening, I dare not disturb her as she takes measurements, observing the screen. Finally, when she wipes the cold gel from my stomach and motions for me to get up. I ask her as I stand up, "Tell me, Valerie, what is it?" "You don't need to worry too much. There is nothing wrong with the pregnancy itself, but," she begins, but it's too soon to be relieved. "Come take a seat." I oblige. Taking a seat, she sighs as she sits down behind her desk. "But," she sighs, tilting her head as she opens up a file on her desk. "But your health isn't great." I'm surprised, to be honest. You come from a strong bloodline, and you seem healthy and fit. But after looking through your reports, you are extremely weak, and that can affect the growth of the children. She puts the file down and I frown. My eyes fly open. Children? Yes, Zaya. You are having twins, which makes me all the more worried about this pregnancy and your health. Twins? I'd be happier if the divorce wasn't bothering me. But the doctor obviously doesn't share the excitement with me. She's worried. Will I lose them? I ask nervously. The chances of miscarrying are extremely high, and until you are past your first trimester, I would say you need to rest as much as possible. Perhaps keeping this pregnancy news quiet, for now, will be better. I know the pack members will want to visit you if they find out that an alpha heir will soon be born. I nod in understanding, reaching for the file and scan through it. I may not be a doctor, but I had studied medicine alongside business at university. How is it possible for my levels to be so low? I ask. She shakes her head. It's beyond me, but I will give you some multivitamins, and we will keep an eye on you. Thanks, Val. Can I ask a weird question? Does a rejection harm an unborn child? I say quietly. She looks at me sharply, and I keep my chin up, hoping she doesn't see right through me. She sits back, pondering over it for a moment before she looks me straight in the eye, a calculating look in them. No, Zaya, it won't harm the child, but it will surely hurt the mother, and if the mother is already weak, for example like yourself, she may never be able to carry another child again. After bidding Valerie farewell, I don't return home. I'm too disturbed and unsettled to think straight. After what she told me, I am no longer sure what I should do. I have been debating what to do for the last hour. I had dismissed Ethan and decided to walk home, despite the weather. My mind is still in turmoil and a memory from long ago returns to me, making my heart squeeze. Flashback. When we have a child, I hope that they look just like you. Me? I ask, surprised, as he pulls me into his lap and runs his fingers through my hair. Yes, my beautiful fire pixie. And I hope they have hair just like you too, he replies, kissing my neck. My heart skips a beat as I tilt my head. I didn't really feel confident with my flaming orange hair, but Sebastian loved it, saying it reminded him of a phoenix. Zion, he says as he caresses my cheek, but it's his next word that makes my eyes widen in shock. That will be the name of our son. End of flashback. He was looking forward to our children so much. If I had gotten pregnant earlier, would everything have been different? Although I know he no longer wants me, I think I should at least try for our children. Perhaps he'll rethink when he knows that we are going to have 2 beautiful babies. Perhaps he will reconsider the divorce. After all, as the father, he does have a right to know about them. A glimmer of hope enters my heart, and I head towards the pack hall. Sebastian would be working in his office at this time. The pack hall sits beside our mansion, separated only by a black gate. Our pack members live across town, and this is the one place where they can gather for meetings and important events. Making my way inside, I enter the code for the 3rd floor by scanning my fingerprint and make my way up the carpeted stairs. This floor is only for the ranked members of the pack, and no one is allowed up here without a pin. I muster my courage and square my shoulders, hoping that he might just reconsider throwing me out, when I spot none other than Annalise sitting on Sebastian's desk, in an extremely short dress, as she laughs at something he just said. For the first time, I wonder if Sebastian took a liking to me because I reminded him of my half-sister. Although Annalise is taller and slimmer, with her beautiful blonde hair and blue eyes, she is the angelic doll that anyone would be deceived by. I can't help but look at the ginger hair strands that fall over my shoulder. We are similar, yet different. Oh Seb, I can't help but be worried that you are really in love with my sister. Annalise's voice makes me look up sharply. A sliver of irritation rushes through me. I am still the Luna and his wife, and until I have signed those papers, He is still mine. How dare she? I'm unable to hold back the anger I feel as I stride down the carpeted hall. Don't be mistaken, Sebastian replies. I falter as Annalise laughs. The tinkling sounds like nails scraping down a chalkboard to me, and I clench my teeth as I stare through the gap in the door. So are you saying in the past 3 years you never developed any feelings for her? There's silence, and I place my hand on the wall, hoping he doesn't shatter my resolve entirely. Not at all. It was simply a 3 years late rejection. Something I should have done long ago. His cold reply comes down, my breath hitches, and I try not to let the overwhelming rejection squeeze at my heart. Oh, that makes me so relieved, especially considering we can finally return to how things used to be before she came between us. Through the gap in the door, I see Sebastian sitting there silently, a hard expression on his face as he looks distractedly out of the window. Are you listening to me, Seb? Sorry, I was just… What did you just say? I said things will be just the way they were before she took everything from me. She runs her hands along his shoulders, that I press a hand to my chest, wishing the pain away as Annalise continues to prattle on. You don't need to worry about anything. I mean, she couldn't even give you a child in these years. I'll have a baby for us. You deserve an heir. She says seductively that I wish I knew what I did to be treated like this. Memories of our time together fill my mind, and I shake my head. Yes, we married immediately when we found we were mates, but that's normal. Sebastian's father had been adamant, yes, but I never felt that Sebastian wasn't happy. He doted on me, complimented me, and I know he found me attractive. Then what happened? Sebastian, I was thinking perhaps we can go on a date to one of our old hot spring weekends. She purrs coquettishly. My husband sits forward and my stomach churns when he places his hand on her bare thigh. I think that's an excellent idea. I step back, my heart screaming in pain, a pain no one will hear. I'm unable to stand here and watch them make a mockery of me, that I can't do it. I can't tell him about my babies. What if he tries to take them away from me? Turning, I flee back to the steps and run down them, trying to hold back the tears that are threatening to fall, but I fail and the damn wall comes crashing down, just like my life has come collapsing down around me. Faye. Once back home, everywhere I look I see him, see the life we built together here. Crippling pain consumes me at what I'm leaving behind, but I won't allow him to take more from me. I won't let him hurt the life growing inside me. These babies are as much mine as they are his, and I will do my best for them. I begin packing, taking only the bare essentials, and dumping them into a suitcase. The quicker I am out of here, the better. I write a quick note to Emma, thanking her for her services. Picking up the divorce agreement, I sit down at the dining table. The silence in the house is deafening. Emma must have finished her work by now and left. With shaking hands, I sign the papers and close the file, and with it, the door to that chapter of my life. Plucking up my phone, I stare at my mother's number. I haven't called her in a while. Although she and my father are separated, she too had been against me marrying Sebastian. However, I know she'll understand me better than anyone. After all, my father left her for none other than Annalise's mother. My parents were destined mates. But my father had an affair with another woman, hence Annalise was born, mere days apart from me. My stepmother didn't only take away my mom's mate, she took my dad from me too. When I was little, we were close, but my stepmother didn't like it and always instigated him against me and tried to cause a rift between us. In the end, she succeeded. Even though I was raised with luxuries and given the best education, our relationship simply became a formality to him. A responsibility he no longer wanted. As I grew up, my father kept in contact. Of course, he'd even drop by on my birthdays, but the moment I refused to give up Sebastian for Annalise, he had disowned me too. I will go to Mom's home and ask if I can stay there for a few days. Just long enough for me to sort things out with myself. Tears trek down my face as I slip my wedding band from my finger and place it on top of the divorce file. Grabbing the handle of my suitcase, I pull it along, telling Ethan to bring the car. With a last, lingering glance down the hall, I take my leave. His betrayal from last night still echoes in my ears. The anger in his voice still haunts me. The memory of him and Annalise in the office still stings. I thought this pregnancy might save our bond, but I was a fool to think so. I should have known he would never believe me over her. When once again he accused me of lying to him. Stepping outside, I see the rain has stopped, a rainbow spreads across the sky, welcoming me with open arms, but I can't appreciate its beauty, not today. The weight on my shoulders is heavy, the pain already beginning to claw at my insides. A sharp pang in my chest almost brings me to my knees, my vision blurring. A soft whimper escapes my lips before I can contain it. The sound of a car door banging shut makes me look up. Bastian? Luna? Are you all right? Ethan? I nod, trying to remain strong. Yes. Please take me to my mother's home. Yes, of course, come Luna. He assists me into the car, placing my suitcase in the bag, and gets in the driver's seat. She lives on Oak Mill Drive. I say weakly. I'm no longer able to hold back my tears as I stare at my home that now disappears from view. Yes, Luna, I will take you there immediately. He murmurs, his tone surprisingly gentle. His eyes meet mine in the rearview mirror, filled with a concern that is foreign to me. I rest my head on the window as we drive through town, the passing cars and people a blur. We reach my mother's street after a good 20-minute drive, and I point out her pale green door. The paint is peeling and it looks more worn than I remember it, but it brings back a surge of nostalgia from my childhood. When was the last time I visited her here? It's been far too long. Ethan opens the door for me, before he quickly goes to grab my suitcase and carries it to the front door for me. When he places my suitcase down, I pass him an envelope. He looks at me surprised. What is this, ma'am? Just a token of my gratitude for all you have done.
Luna, Gouvier, Ethan.
I say. He hesitates but nods and takes his leave. I see the curtains twitch in a few of the windows. In this small winding street, everyone is always curious when an unfamiliar face shows up, especially when it's in a luxury car which doesn't fit here. I wait for him to drive away before taking a deep breath and knock on the door. My nerves are playing up and I'm beginning to doubt my decision. Maybe I should just check into a hotel. I shouldn't have come here. I'm about to grab my suitcase and run, when the door is pulled open and I find myself staring into my mom's gray eyes. Mom? Zaya, she replies, shocked. Her eyes fall on the suitcase before she looks searchingly into my eyes. Is everything all right? I'm unable to reply, my eyes welling with tears. She picks up my suitcase, glances around the street and beckons me inside, closing the door on the prying eyes that may be watching us, and pulls me into a comforting hug, and I finally break down, sobbing my heart out at my broken marriage and the loss of my mate. 10 minutes later, I am sitting on the worn-out settee in the small living room, blowing my nose on a tissue as I sniffle. Does he know you are pregnant? Mom asks as she rubs my back, her lips pursed, frowning deeply. I shake my head. No, there's no point, Mom. He is completely smitten with Annalise now that she's back. I don't think I should use these babies to trap him in a marriage he clearly wants no part in. Mom sighs and nods her head. If you don't want him to know, then we'll keep it secret. Babies are never the way to keep a man. He once dropped Annalise for you, even if he remains with you temporarily because of the children. He will drop you one day, just as he has done now. Mom, we were destined mates. You know how important that is. I did not think he'd do this. I protest. It's not like I stole anything that did not belong to me. She sighs, patting my arm. Yes, dear, I do, but only relying on the mate bond is not enough to keep a couple together. You knew this, but you had fallen in love with him and chose to ignore that. But he clearly didn't care enough. I know, I murmur, feeling saddened that she still thinks that, after all, Sebastian had treated me well up until now anyway. Has he rejected you yet? Mom asks when I'm a little calmer. I shake my head. Not yet, but I'm sure he will soon. Will his rejection harm the babies? I shake my head. No, I did ask Valerie, but she said I will probably not be able to have any more children after this. Goddess. Zaya, we can't let him reject you then. It will ruin your chances of being a mother. Mom, I still have them. These two precious babies that are growing inside of me. They are more than enough. Besides, I don't think I can ever love again. I say quietly, placing a hand on my stomach. I've made up my mind. I will let him go. I hope you can support this decision and keep it secret. Reaching out, I hold her hand tightly in mine. Her hands are colder and feel more wrinkled than the last time I held them. I give them a squeeze, hoping she'll understand. Very well. I don't think you need him. Tomorrow go and be over and done with him. Then you can focus on yourself and your children. You are still young, Zaya. You will find someone better. Will I? Then tell me, Mom, why haven't you moved on? She stands up, my words clearly upsetting her. My situation was different.
I'm sorry, Mom.
I say, getting up. She turns back to me and smiles sadly as she shakes her head. No, Zaya, it's all right, we'll be okay, she says before pulling me into a warm embrace, one that I truly need. You have me, your children have me, we will move away from this pack, somewhere on the outskirts of the city or further away. Somewhere he will never be able to find you, or try to take your children. I promise you I will keep you safe. I nod and Mom takes her leave, saying she'll go prepare my bedroom for me, leaving me alone in that ornate living room. After a few moments, as I listen to the floorboards creaking under her weight as she moves around upstairs, I take my phone from my bag. Taking a deep steadying breath, I dial Sebastian's number. It only rings once before he picks it up. Hello. I want to let you know that I've signed the papers and I have left, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. He's silent for a moment. Good to know. We will hold the rejection tomorrow morning. Come to my office at 9 o'clock sharp. Like it's just another business appointment. That's fine, I will be at the pack hall on time, I reply quietly. Okay. I hang up, my heart pounding against my ribs, matching the rhythm of the clock that hangs ominously on the wall. He doesn't even regret his decision, not even one bit. Vae. The next day I reach the pack hall early. Sebastian has texted to say he'll send a car, but I refuse, saying I'll make my way there by myself. I have donned a simple black dress, and Mom has pinned my hair back in a neat bun. Are you sure you don't want me to accompany you inside? Mom asks, holding my hands. I nod. I'll be all right, just wait here for me. Leaving her outside, I head inside, making my way to the third floor. I'm surprised he hasn't changed the PIN code. Maybe he forgot. Approaching Sebastian's office, I'm about to raise my hand to knock when I hear the sound of talking coming from inside. But I want to be here. Annalise's sweet voice comes. She moans and I can just envision her pouting as if she is a child deprived of her favorite treat. This is between me and Zaya. I will meet you outside when it's done. Annalise obviously wants to stay and witness how Sebastian rejects me. A huge part of me is relieved that he has refused her. This is already humiliating, and if Sebastian allows her to stay and see how I suffer from the rejection, it will only be the icing on the cake for her. She has already taken everything from me, but she still doesn't want to miss a chance to hurt me. Fine then, I hear her say. The door is pulled up and I come face to face with Annalise. She looks me over, a smug smile on her pretty face, but it just makes her look ugly. She doesn't say a word, her shoulder hitting mine as she walks out. I glance at her back as she hums to herself. Of course, for her, this rejection is something to celebrate. I look ahead to where Sebastian is sitting behind his desk. He looks handsome in a navy suit, but his face is emotionless. I step inside and shut the door behind me. Sebastian stands up and walks toward me as he looks me dead in the eye. A tense silence fills the air. Care for a drink? He asks, taking 2 glasses from his bar and picking up a bottle of what was once my favorite wine. No, thank you, I say quietly. I can't drink because I'm pregnant. He can save the wine and celebrate with Annalise. His mood instantly darkens at my refusal and he pours himself a full glass, downing it in one go. Then let us get this rejection over with, he says coldly, placing his glass down harder than necessary. I take a deep breath, my heart hammering as I prepare myself as best I can. Let's, I reply, my eyes flashing with determination. I will not show him how this is breaking me. He observes me for a moment, no emotion showing. I, Alpha Sebastian King of the Dark Hollow Falls Pack, reject you, Zaya Toussaint, as my mate and Luna. I gasp as pain rips at my chest and I feel the violent pull of the bond tear through me, but I keep my head up, refusing to feed Annalise's smug look of victory when they laugh over this moment together. Sebastian is watching me, almost as if doesn't think I can do it. Zaya Toussaint, former Luna of the Dark Hollow Falls Pack, accept your rejection, Alpha Sebastian King. A whimper leaves my lips as I feel the final threads of the bond between us break, and I'm left in agony. I clutch my neck, feeling it burn. You accepted, he murmurs in the distance, but I can't focus. As the pain heightens, I'm struggling to breathe. My vision darkens and I turn my head to look at the man I once called my own. Our eyes meet one final time before I succumb to the pain. The incessant beeping of a machine makes me crack open my eyelids. My entire body is aching as if I have run a marathon. A groan leaves my lips as I look around to see Valerie and Mom talking. They turn and look at me. "You're awake, Zaya," Mom says as she rushes over to me. "Ms. Walton, please allow me to run some tests." I force a smile to tell Mom I'm fine as I lie here, a huge gaping hole in my chest, and there's a part of me wanting to give up. "Are my babies okay, Valerie?" I whisper. "Yes, they are stronger than you think. You should care more about yourself. You are still weak and your blood pressure is low." Valerie scolds. "So he rejected you and you let him? Why didn't you tell him you are pregnant?" Mom shuts the door, keeping watch as she looks over at us tentatively. "He wouldn't have cared," I reply, turning my head away, trying to hide my tears. A tense silence falls as she finishes her tests. "Well, you are lucky enough that you aren't worse off. You will feel weak for a while, but keep your energy up and do not stop eating. In a few weeks you may feel better physically, but mentally I can't say. Thanks, you saved me again. Can I ask you to not tell anyone about my pregnancy? Even to Sebastian Alpha. I will go far away." I say quietly. I can't call him Sebastian anymore. She pauses, her pen pressed against the paper on her clipboard before she sighs and nods. "I figured as much, but are you sure, Zaya, you are still our Luna?" I smile bitterly.
Luna?
"That is not my title anymore." She places her clipboard down, tilting her head. "You will always be Luna to me and for many in this pack. Believe me. I'm not so sure anymore." "When can she leave the hospital?" Mom asks. "I would say she can leave, but when she does, please be aware that she needs bed rest. At least 2 weeks. Please. Don't worry, I will make sure she does." Mom says firmly. "We will leave this place." "Where will we go?" I ask quietly. "Anywhere but here. If you don't want him to know, then we must leave before he realizes you are carrying his children." I nod. "Yes, that's best." "Okay, I will go call a cab. I won't be long. Take care of her, doctor." Mom promises before she hurries from the room. Valerie sighs. "Are you certain about this?" "Yes," I reply, staring blankly at the wall ahead. That I feel dead inside. She pats my shoulder, sighing heavily. Her pager beeps. "I will be back," she says, giving me a small smile before she hurries from the room, and I'm left alone. A part of me had hoped Sebastian would come to visit me. I fainted in front of him, but he really is happy to be rid of me. Suddenly the door is pulled open, and for a split second my heart leaps, thinking maybe, just maybe, it is him, but to my dismay it's Annalise who saunters in. "Oh, so it's true. You pretended to faint just so you could gain sympathy and delay the rejection." She sneers contemptuously. I bite the inside of my cheek as I look back at her. "Don't worry, he rejected me and I accepted it. You won." I try to hide my pain for a mere second. She looks surprised before she smiles gleefully. "Oh? Well, that's great," she says, strutting over to the bed. "There is no place for you in our lives, especially since we're going to become parents soon." I gasp, unable to hide my hurt as I stare at her stomach as she strokes it gently. "What? He had cheated on me. Does it hurt? Knowing your man was busy with me when you were playing a good little wife at home?" She taunts. "What do you think was happening all those nights he came home late?" I open my mouth about to reply, not wanting her to see how much she is hurting me when I hear Mom cursing. "Ah, look, a filthy cockroach made its way into the hospital room. The entire place needs sterilizing," she says, making Annalise spin around. "Do you mean me?" she asks accusingly. "Of course I did. I have never seen an uglier roach in my life. You look just like your mother." Mom sneers, planting her hands on her hips. "Do you think just by putting on some makeup and pretty clothes that you will become pretty? Your true colors show through. Now get out. My daughter is not well, and the doctor made it clear she should not be around vermin." I hide my smile as Annalise stands there, her mouth hanging open. "And my father will hear of this. Oh please, I would like to see what he does." Mom snaps back. Annalise's head whips around to me, casting me one final glare before she storms from the room. "Come, the taxi will be here in 15 minutes. You know there is barely any signal around here. I might need to change my network." I smile faintly at her. "Thank you," I say softly as I sit up. She pauses and looks down at me. The corners of her eyes crinkle as she smiles warmly at me. "What else are mothers for? I will always be right here." she says gently as she helps me off the bed. Now come, we will head down. I nod, allowing her to lead the way from the hospital. I feel stares on me, but I don't bother looking back. I will only look forward. Sebastian and Annalise can stay happy together. You win, Annalise, he's all yours. Sebastian. Are you still brooding? You know, Seb, I'm tired of having to nag you to get stuff done when you were always on top of it all. Why even reject her if you can't deal with it? I look up at Jai, my beta and also my best friend, but I choose not to answer him. It's been 4 months since she accepted my rejection and left this pack. I didn't think she'd accept it. I mutter, flipping my phone distractedly between my fingers. Yeskovs. Yeah, you just decided to hurt her for no real reason and wanted her to beg you to keep her? You hurt her by going back to your ex. I know. But what I don't get is why did she accept it so easily? I've known Zaya since before I found out she was my mate. She's always been a girl determined to get what she wanted. And she had always had a crush on me. How could she simply just walk away without even trying to fight for me? It left me feeling as if she was in a hurry to get rid of me. You know, man, since we're on the topic, you really need to talk to Annalise and stop her from coming to the pack hall. And why should I do that? I ask, raising an eyebrow. He shakes his head. It's one of the reasons I'm here as your beta. Everyone wants me to talk to you. Spit it out. I growl. He looks at me seriously. She causes problems with everyone here. The cleaning staff, the cooks, the guards, even the gardeners, man. She's trying to tell them how to do their jobs. I swear, since she's joined the pack, she's become even worse of a nightmare. Well, I'm sure they can deal with her. I have more pressing matters to deal with than getting involved with such meaningless matters. He scoffs. Really, man? Like this is the menace you want to make your Luna? The pack has all been against it. No one is ready to accept her as their Luna, let alone as a member of this pack. I am the alpha. The pack should learn to accept what I say. You are an arrogant alpha hole. No one will ever accept her. On top of that, you aren't ready to publicly tell anyone you are divorced. Heck, just last week you told the alpha of the Crimson River pack that your Luna was visiting family. What is that all about? I don't respond, my brows furrowing. I have kept Annalise and the divorce a secret for now, because my father will not be pleased. None of this has gone as planned. My hands were tied and at the time I saw no other solution but to reject her. Are you even listening to me? Your parents will be back from their holiday soon. I for one want to be present when you tell them that you divorced our beautiful Luna because they will find out, even if you command the pack members to keep it a secret. I glare at him as he continues, unfazed by my rising anger. Seriously though, Zaya was the one for you. She was gorgeous. I don't even see what you see in Little Miss Plastic Annalise. Zaya was perfect, her hair, the way it bounced with every step. Remember how it used to fall over her eye no matter how many times she'd push it back? Kinda like tempting you to do it for her? And the goddess made her for you. She was your destined mate, man. I frown at him, a flare of jealousy rushing through me. The goddess isn't always right. But he still continues. Okay, fine, her hot looks should have been enough. I mean, her body, she was perfect, and by that, I mean those curves. Damn, you're crazy not to want to be enjoying that dash. I snarl as I slam my phone on the table. Watch it. I growl. He jumps a little, shocked at my outburst. My chest heaves as I try to control my rage. That's my woman you're talking about. Your ex-woman, Sebastian, your ex. You rejected her, remember? My eyes flash dangerously. Jai might be my best friend, but right now I am tempted to break his damn nose and ruin that pretty boy face of his. I don't care. She was my mate. That is something that won't change. He raises an eyebrow, storming to the door. He's angry, but his wolf won't allow him to disrespect me, his alpha further. Right. Only you have Annalise now. I'm not going to claim her, Seb, but if someone does, you have no right to stop it. You rejected her. The door slams shut behind him as he leaves me alone in my office. I curse, slamming my fist into the table. Why life has always been complicated. The situation with this pack, my family, their dictating ways and things I don't want to go into. When I found out Zaya was my mate, I didn't know what to feel. She was too good for my lifestyle, too good to be a part of the King family. The secrets that even 3 years in, she never knew of. I'm certain if she knew them, she herself would have probably rejected me long ago. Secrets I wanted to protect her from at all costs, Dad had put down the ultimatum that I would only get the business and pack if I found and married my destined mate. Someone who happened to be the sister of my girlfriend. Broken-hearted. Annalise had suddenly left without even allowing me to explain. I don't think Dad had expected me to actually find my destined mate, but I did, and he had to honor his words. I never wanted her to fall for me. I kept her at arm's length to begin with, planning to divorce her a year into the marriage. Not planning to consummate the marriage either, but her innocence, her beauty and her confidence won me over. Before I realized it, we were a real couple. I fell for her just as deeply as she had fallen for me. I loved her. And I still do, but the day Annalise returned and told me she had been kept captive for 3 long years had shaken me. She had managed to escape, but when she told me she had overheard them mention the one who had ordered her kidnapping, I had lost it. It was none other than Zaya. I didn't believe it straight away. How could I? I had first checked our bank statements. Sure enough, every month, she was paying an isolated bank account a large sum of money with my money. She had fallen to such levels just to keep Annalise away from me, and her true colors were revealed when she had accepted my rejection so easily. Only someone cold-hearted was capable of that. I'm getting angry again. And when the door slams open, I almost want to punch the intruder in the face. Knock! I snarl at Jai. No, Seb, you're going to want to see this. He says, he's pale, his heart thudding as he holds out the file in his hand. I frown as I stand up and snatch the file he was holding in his hand out to me. Beta Jai. Please don't. I glance up as Dr. Scott rushes in, Zaya's friend. I haven't seen her around in a while, but with Zaya gone, there's no need for us to meet. Her face is paler than Jai's and she freezes when she sees the file in my hand, and I frown. What exactly is this? I'm about to flip it open when, to my surprise, she rushes forward and snatches the file from me. It's nothing, Alpha, please let me go. She whispers, glancing towards the door. I'm seriously not in the mood for this. Fine, whatever, just get out. I snap, glancing at the file in her hand. No, Jai says, stepping in front of the door and blocking her path. Trust me, man, you will want to see that file. I cock a brow and look between them. Just show me the file, doctor. Please don't do this. Client privacy is not a joke, she exclaims. That report involves him. She is his wife, Jai says coldly. She is not his wife anymore, Valerie says coldly. Zaya? My eyes snap to the file in her hand before I step out from behind my desk. She backs away from me, fear clear in her eyes. What are you hiding? I ask. Is Zaya all right? Right after she had accepted the rejection, she passed out. I had caught her before she hit the floor. I was about to take her to the hospital, but I was also in pain from the rejection, and Jai had taken her instead. That I had wanted to visit, but her mother had refused me, saying I had done enough damage. Annalise had offered to go, and Zaya and her mother had simply humiliated her. She had come back in tears. I know Zaya had been to the hospital the day before the rejection as well. Was she sick? Was that why she rejected me? A sliver of worry and guilt rushes through me, and I snatch the file from Valerie. Please, Alpha, she begs. Ignoring her, I flip it open as I turn my back on her and scan the file. My heart thuds as I stare at the top of the report. Positive pregnancy result. Scan the rest of the file. Never have I read anything faster in my life. Jai and Valerie's arguing in the background fades away as my heart beats violently. Pregnant. Twins. High risk. I look up at the shouting duo, my ears ringing with the revelation, and just as Annalise rushes in, I choke out the words that I can barely believe myself. Zaya's pregnant?